What's happening out there, America, the world? We're here with another episode of the Put to Bed podcast. You hear me?
What's up, it's Diamond G in the building. We here tonight to show y'all four more topics, situations, issues, anything you want to describe it. To get put it to bed tonight so we can kind of get some rest and put it to sleep.
Yeah, a night and a nightcap. You hear me?
I think the first one was yours though, bro. Like,
Yeah.
okay, so it says I just wrote down this Africa or here. So I need you to go like more in depth with what that looked like.
Okay, so what I
What
meant by that
Africa
was,
and here mean.
like, people always say like, are we from Africa or are we from here? Because a lot of people have adapted the ideology like we indigenous to this land. We was already here in North America. This is our land type stuff. Like a lot of black people, like black, they try to say like all black people in America, like African Americans, came from Africa. Hence the name African American. But a lot of people believe that we not from Africa. Like we populated everywhere.
Yeah,
So they
that's
saying
true.
like the people in Africa are like African. That's not the same. We don't share the same. We all share the same genes. Of course, everybody came from Africa, but we don't share the same direct gene. Like we didn't come from Africa. We weren't brought from Africa. Everybody that was here is African American. wasn't brought here in the slave trade.
Okay, okay. Okay. So that's what,
Versus
okay. That's what you meant. Okay.
versus what we was already taught, always taught like that we was brought here. We're not really from here type of situation.
Okay. So you want my take on that?
Yeah.
I'm over here thinking like hold on, so you want me to talk about it? Um, as an individual, you know what I'm saying, and as an individual black woman, I am from America, bro. Like you can't call me African American anymore because, and I'm gonna say this, it's not like a dig or anything. It's
Yeah.
more of an understanding. I used to get pissed off when people say black. You black.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
I used to correct them and say like, no, I'm African American. I'm African American because it meant something. Like, no,
Yeah.
I'm born here. But I took an African American class one time, and I said like he asked a question. It was a black teacher, amazing teacher, Dr. Pate,
Hmm.
and he was like, "You ain't." He said something. I said, "I'm African American." He said, "No, you not." He stopped my whole answer and was like, "No, you black. You born here. You went through the same like our ancestries are maybe African American, some of them, but they're black and they were brought over and they went through the struggle. We are black. We were born here. You don't say African American because that
Yeah.
means that they brought you over here. You were born here. This is your right too." And I was like, "Huh?" But I knew that. But the way he said it, I'm like, "Damn you!" And then like it was like a you're like there's only four black people in the classroom, so you
Yeah.
like, damn, I mean, man, you gonna put me out here like that? But it made so much sense to me as I'm driving home. Like, dang, that makes sense. I get angry at people when they say African American. Well, I
Yeah.
used to, I used to, but like that understanding maybe like 7 years ago put so much like perception in my mind. Like, yeah, my people, my ancestors. They were slaves. They may have been African. They went through the struggle. They went through everything for me, for my black butt to be here in
Fact.
America to do what I need to do. You know what I'm saying? So I just put it like you can call me, you could say it, but I am gonna correct you and say I'm black and I was
Yeah.
born here or I'm a black woman because it is a difference. It's a difference for real.
Definitely a different.
Yeah, it's put to bed for me because I've been through that. Like, that conversation. People say it so many times, like it's a debate, like it's a debate, especially with black people.
Yeah, it is. It is a
But
debate, especially among
if
black
you
people.
think about it, sometimes when I interact with people of an African descent, African people,
Uh-huh.
sometimes if you interacted, sometimes it's not always a pleasure. It's because they don't see us the same as black.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So black people, they don't see us the same as being African. They think it's totally different. So you got to put that in perspective for real
Yeah.
and say like, okay, we different. What's that look like?
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. So that's it. That's it for me, bro. What you got?
I mean, I could piggyback right off what you were saying too, like in the sense of like, a lot of African people don't really recognize us as them. Like they like, no, y'all ain't from here. A lot of them, they look at us different. They treat us different. They say we
Yeah.
not from there. Like,
Yeah.
and it's a lot of. I mean, I agree with what you said of it in the sentiments of what you said of it, but to me, it goes a little deeper. Like I'm
Uh,
more on the side of like they don't identify with us because they know the history for a reason. They
right.
know certain things that we don't know. Yes, it was certain tribes and certain people that came. that were snatched up and brought over here in the slave trade. You know, it was people that was from South America and those
Yeah.
areas of Brazil and all that type of stuff in those areas that was snatched up and they was brought here in the slave trade. It was people from other countries too, and the more towards Asia, they were snatched up and brought here in the slave trade. I mean, it
Hmm.
was a mixture of people that wasn't just a black thing. That existed through different times, a period of history, and just made us into a melting pot that we is. But at the same
Right.
time, there were already people here, like when with the Pilgrims and the Indians and all that type of stuff. Like, it's no way. Like, look at us now. Look at us even through slavery. If they say they
Yeah.
brought over these amount of people and then they enslaved us and we uproared and they was killing us off and doing all this type of stuff, like, and it was a
Hmm.
whole civil wars. How were they not able to wipe us out the same way that they wiped out the so-called Indians? Like, those indigenous people never left this land. They
Right.
never
Right.
wiped
Right.
out a whole everybody that was here in North America prior to that, and then it was just white people and slaves. Like, that's how the history books tell it. That they came over here, they conquered this land, they killed off all. That's what Thanksgiving and all that is about. Like, they came over here, they killed off all of these people, they killed off all of these Indians, all of these natives that taught them how to live, taught them how to survive, yada yada yada.
Hmm.
And they took their culture up away from them and their survival tactics away from them and killed them all off, and then brought slaves over here. And then with the few that remain are like the Indians, and they give them reservations and they give them all of these deeds and all of these things just for
Right.
what they've been through. That's the story that we were told.
Yeah.
If you look at it, it's not a whole lot of Indians out here. And these things were true, and they were really waged war, and they was able to wipe out all these people. Why couldn't they do that to us when we uprooted as the slaves and it was going through the Civil War type thing? Like, I feel like we've been here. Yeah, true indeed. We all come from Africa. You can trace everybody's DNA back to Africa.
Yeah.
That's facts. But we were here. Like, at one point,
Hmm.
all of the continents were one anyway. Like, before the Titanic plates, the tectonic plates and everything, and the Earth started shifting and all of that. All the continents were connected. That's what we
Right.
was also taught. So, if that being said, and life started off in Africa, and then even in the Bible, they would say like God, everybody was doing stuff, and they was building to temples, and they was doing all this paganism stuff. So where they got separated, and God separated everybody and gave them different tongues and sent them to different parts of the earth. And that's when we all separated, and you went to the black people went to Asia, and the people from Africa went to North America, and all these people in all these places. And then we just had different times in our era, like the Mayans and you mean all of these the Aztecs, like all of these were colored indigenous people of these lands and
Hmm.
of these surfaces. I feel like the reason why the Africans and stuff don't identify with us because they know the history. They know that we were already here. We was already in North America prior to slavery,
Yeah.
prior to Christopher Columbus, prior to anybody coming over here. We was already here. This was already a place where we inhabited,
Set
and
roots.
most of us are descendants of that. Like
Hmm.
the Negro in America. It's a book. I think it's about Elijah Muhammad, with the black Negro in America, like telling the same type of story of how of where we really came from and how we were tricked into believing that we were from somewhere else, and really this is our land. Really, this is
Right.
we
Right.
indigenous to this land. Like, we share ties and we share blood with our African brothers and stuff like that. But if you even look at them, like, no matter what, Somalian, Ethiopian, they don't look like African Americans. They don't look like us.
No. I
They
mean,
don't. They
no.
don't.
No.
They share
It's a
features because we
difference.
all black, but you could see like they skin tone be different. It be richer. Like, some of them be like they
Hmm.
nose be they structures are different. Like, they don't look like us.
Yeah.
So
I
even if we
agree.
was them like that time, like even if you look at family, that's how DNA works. You can look at our great grandparents. We're gonna see traits of them and us because we
Absolutely.
share that same direct bloodline. So we
Yeah.
all share these same direct roots and same bloodline and same history. We would still have them same features and look like them. But that's really my put to bed in this on it. Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think we was from here,
Absolutely.
African
I agree with
Americans
everything you
specifically.
said, and I appreciate the history because a lot of people don't know a lot of those things. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are conditioned to believe what we're taught. So,
Exactly.
like you said, growing up, we know, we heard those stories, we read those stories, we were in plays with those stories. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
that's all
yeah.
you
We was
know.
indoctrinated.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that for real. Like, thank you, bro, for real.
Well, you
And
welcome.
that's what's the best for me because it gave me a better understanding of what I already knew, but in a different way.
Oh yeah, okay, okay. Yeah, let's put the beds for
Yeah,
me too. The second
yeah.
one was one of your topics.
Hmm.
It was and it's the topic that I agree on, topic that we discuss in our own personal life as well.
Absolutely.
But it was why do black people, and I'm gonna say this, black people, but I'm gonna say at the same time too, like just color people, people of color
People of
in
color.
general.
Hmm.
Like, why do we feel like therapy is a bad thing? Why do we shy away from therapy? Why do we not utilize that as something that we feel like is detrimental to us? And why do we
Yeah,
shun it versus other cultures and other people?
yeah. Yep. Why do we not go? Why do we don't go to why do we don't go to that? Why we don't go to therapy is what it is. Why do we feel like it's something wrong with it? Um, you want my take on it first?
It's up to you. You want to hear mine, or if you want to
I
go
actually
first?
want to hear yours first, bro. I really do.
I mean, my take on it is it goes back to the same thing we was talking about with indoctrination and being conditioned and being taught and being like programmed to feel a certain way or to think a certain way or move a certain way.
Yeah.
I feel like we've been put in that box where we feel like those type of things mean you have a problem, means you
Mm,
have a disability in a certain sense of it. It means you
yeah.
have something to be ashamed of. It's like we look
Different.
at therapy and stuff like yeah, like a crutch. Like, oh, why do you need that? People think, are you crazy or you unstable or
Yeah.
you this or you that, or we instantly throw these things on it, these negative notations, or we throw these stereotypes on it, or we throw these
Hmm.
characteristics on top of it, and
Hmm.
that's not really true
Right.
because I feel like we all need therapy in a certain sense.
We do.
Whether you don't have a therapist, sometimes growing up, our mothers was our therapists, our siblings be our therapists, our teachers be our
Right.
therapists. Like it's a lot of people that we meet in life that be mentoring us in type of different aspects of our lives
Yeah.
that play that therapy role. So it's been there all the time anyway, and a lot of times, like sometimes it gets outside of that comfortability of telling it to a family member or telling it to a
Right.
close friend
Right.
because it's something that you don't might not feel comfortable discussing with somebody you know so dearly, and you don't want to open
Yeah.
up because of the fear of judgment. So I feel like it's
Right.
always good to be able to, because me, I go to therapy, and I've always felt it
Absolutely.
easier for me to open up to them, a stranger, a
Yep.
professional, a person that's not even here to judge me, doesn't know me, that's just here to give me the best guidance that they can in the situation or
Absolutely.
what I've been through or this trauma that I've been through or this mindset that I'm in currently. I feel like they're a greater asset to be able to utilize to help you cope and go through those things because of the lack of personal boundaries that kind of standoffishness because I know this
Right.
person standoffishness because of judgment. Like this person is
Yeah.
this is their job. They're paid professionals to be able to work with these things that you're going through. Like I've opened up to not even the therapist that I have right now. I'm still looking for a different therapist. I just completed a therapy that was kind of through my job, but
Nice.
I'm looking for like a regular long term therapy now. A therapist now. I'm just still searching. But with the previous therapist I've had in the past, I opened up to him about stuff that I ain't never told nobody in life. And after that, after I've said it, like trauma that I've been through, situations that I've been through,
Yeah.
like I never spoke to anybody ever. And it was just like I said, like, it was a fear of judgment. It was like, okay, I don't want to tell my mama I've been through this. I don't want to tell my sister I've been through. I want to tell my daddy I've
Right.
been through
Right.
this. I don't want to tell my girl I've been through this or my people, like my brothers, nothing like that.
Yep.
But
Anybody.
anybody, yeah. So in the sense of like, I don't know what he did to lower my guard to make me feel that comfortable. I guess it was all of the things that I'm saying that add up for me is like the fact that I don't know them out there. I'm here. They're here to help me through these things, so they're not going to
Yeah.
judge me the same way a person would just hearing it that I know. So
Exactly.
I've opened up to them about a lot of things that I never opened up to nobody else, and I was way more comfortable. And I feel like we should be able to utilize that. Like we shouldn't. We look down at each other for doing certain things, and that's
Hmm.
not just therapy, but we look down at each other for doing certain things that are really meant to heal us really good. Like if you meditate and you out there hugging trees and you out there grounding, people look at you weird. When really that's a form of
That's
therapy.
part.
It's
Yeah.
something
It
very
is.
therapeutic to the body. It's
Yeah.
something very therapeutic to the nature that we should all be taking advantage of. But it's being looked at like, oh, you weird or you in this certain category because you do these things.
Hmm.
We shouldn't shy away from that just because of the indoctrinated belief system that we've been operating under for so long. We got to break
Absolutely.
away from those things and really utilize that because therapy is something that we all should be taking advantage of in some form, shape, or another.
Absolutely. You know what? 100% agree. 100%. I think every people should go to therapy for real. Like we have so much judgment. Like you said, you hit every point. That's why I wanted to hear you first. Because you hit every point that I had in my mind, and I knew that you would like just do that, and it make it a little easier for me. You know what I'm saying? Like we got a lot of judgment in our black community, and it comes from our family, our friends,
Exactly.
the blame that come with maybe like what you've been through, the trauma from parenting, and parenting is not a perfect skill. Regardless, it's
No,
not a perfect skill. Like
no.
your kids, my kids, anybody's kids are going to have any issue with something growing up because it's just a natural thing. Things change over time. People learn over time, so it's going to happen. It's not about blaming that person. It's about putting your mental health first. To me, that's what therapy is about for me. Putting your mental health first because who else gonna do it? If you don't give a damn about your own mental health, you can't be there for nobody else. And in our community, it's the first thing it's saying, like, why you going? What's wrong with you? Like you said, it's always a label that come with it, and it's not a label. It's really about you and what you're going for. People go to therapy for different reasons: anxiety, eating disorders, family conflicts. It's not always about something's wrong with you. It's something. It's some that you need to get from somebody else that you don't know. Because their whole job there is really to be there for you to listen, support, and guide you through the situation. They don't give you the answer. It's
Yeah,
more about you figuring it out on your own through their guidance and talking it out and going through certain therapies in that session that help you identify with things for real. It ain't about like, oh, let me give you this answer. You go back to your family and you tell them how we feel. No, it's about you identifying with some things that you've been through and how you come overcome it. And it's not. I think a lot of people think that you go to a therapist, they telling you something, they blaming somebody, and it's not about that for real. It's really about you getting what you need at that time for whatever issue that may be coming to rise, and that could be work, family, food, just everyday life, work
everyday
life
life.
balance. Work life balance is a big thing that people go to therapy for because it's hard to get a grasp on work and family sometimes, especially depending on how stressful it is. So, like, it's therapy is not only for something's wrong with you, or mom, I blame you, or dad, I blame you. It's not always about that. So I think people in the black community need to accept more therapeutic approaches. And that includes if you don't want to go talk to somebody, a yoga, Pilates, just doing art therapy. It's different ways of therapy you can do than just going to talk to somebody. If that don't work for you, that don't work for you. But journaling, it's certain things you can do. So I just think the black community, or not black community, I'm sorry, the people of color, us in general, need to just look at other ways to break our generational curses and cope and heal. Because if we don't do it, for real, I'm gonna be real. If we don't do it, our kids don't do it. Their kids don't do it. So it's more than just about us. It's about what you're leaving behind. Because once you're gone, your kids are here, and they are gonna have to all the lessons you taught them or didn't teach them. They gotta deal with it.
Yeah, thanks.
But
Thanks.
yeah, that's it for me. That's it for me. So with
Nah,
that one, with that one.
you hit right on the head too, and you added some of the other stuff that I didn't, that I did. I mean, like you said, we all touched on the same. We both touched on the same points, but you went deeper in some of the other ones too.
Yeah,
Like you said, with like with the kids and that type of stuff. It's like it goes into the same thing as us. I mean, one of our purposes in existence, I feel like, is breaking generational curses.
absolutely.
We all, as our tribes, because we all been soul tied and
Mm-hmm.
born in the same in the same households or in these same genealogies for a reason. And it's a
Right.
test. It's a test,
Yeah.
and it's always going to be struggle. It's always going to be strife. It's always going to be them type of things. I mean, we've learned that in the Bible. The first murder ever occurred in the Bible was from a sibling, like a brother killed his own
Absolutely.
brother.
Right.
So a lot of that type of stuff that we did, I feel like is curses. It's curses that's been bestowed on us. Curses of alcoholism, curses of sexual abuse, where uncles is touching the kids and the families and stuff like that. There's curses that we all
Mm-hmm.
have to have, that we all have as families, and I feel like that we have to. One of our goals here is to break them generational curses and break them cycles of ways of thinking and ways of doing. And like you said, it's up to therapy is one of them things that can help break that cycle in us, and that's something that we should be teaching our young and teaching people
Right.
to be able to make that a regular norm thing and break to start the chain and break the chains of some of these generational curses.
Absolutely. And you made me write something down. That's what I had to do. I was listening to everything you said because it meant something kind of clicked when you said some things that families do go through. And I think I got a topic for next time, so I'm gonna hold it off. I don't
Oh,
want
okay,
to. I don't want to spread all the secrets tonight. Um, so okay, so we went. Okay, so we got two down. Let's do two more, and then the next one was yours actually.
yeah,
I wanted to know what you meant by it though, because I was like, huh?
yeah,
We don't pre-discuss nothing, but we will, like, this is where I'm thinking, what your thought process is or whatever. So
yeah,
like, just give a little, a little hint of like what your thought process was. And this one was, is a man his pocket?
yeah. The
Is a
man,
man
yeah,
his pocket? So
yeah,
my take, what I thought you meant by that, I just want to, make sure I was on the right path. It, like if a man make a certain, what his income is, does that make him basically? Does the money make the man?
Exactly. Basically that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Is a
I was
man.
on the right.
Yeah.
Okay,
Basically
okay,
that. Yeah. Is a
okay,
man valued by his pockets type. Yeah.
okay.
Basically. Yeah.
So I was on the right path. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So
I
because
might
I
have meant to
wasn't
type
sure.
that. I meant to type as a man valued by his pockets. I probably just was typing to the back.
Nah, like I was like, hold on, I think he meant this, but like me and you kind of in tune with some shit, with some stuff, so some
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. It's facts.
So like it is what it is. But okay, let me take this. Okay, let me take this one first.
Okay.
Um, is a man in his pocket? I do think that money helps in a situation, regardless, man or woman. It don't
Yeah.
even matter what that looks like. But to me personally, it's character, because you could be rich and be a complete asshole or a complete selfish individual, or not even able to give anything to a relationship, have anything, anything. So money does not make the man for me. It's a simple answer for me, because money comes with a lot of problems sometimes too. Money comes with some women. It depends on what that money look like. If you dating a ball player, if you dating certain men who just feel like they could be womanized, it don't even matter if you play ball or not. Because some men who play ball are faithful. Let's just put it out there. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
It's just a
like
certain tax bracket that niggas reaching. They feel like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
don't need
yeah.
you for nothing. So
Exactly, exactly.
that can bring a lot.
It do help. It helps the man. It do make the man like, oh damn, look at him. Why got a little money in his pocket?
Yeah.
But it don't mean that you can be there for me emotionally, mentally, and for me as a more of an independent woman, yeah, financially I would love the help, but I don't necessarily need it as much than I need the emotional support and the mental support and just the nurturing and other things that come with a relationship. So your money can help, but that don't mean that's what I need in that relationship. So I mean, financially, yeah, we can succeed together. We can do that together. Drop that. Do it together. Be a black couple
Yeah.
in this world. Black love. Yeah. But speaking of, but like, I don't think that that's gonna make our relationship, because if we can both have money and be miserable.
Facts. Facts.
So yeah, that's it for me, because it's simple. Nah, it don't make it for me.
All right, so I want to start with why I picked this topic. So I was on the phone with
Okay.
one of
Yeah.
my homies, and he was telling me he's a breadwinner in his family. Like his wife, she works, she do, she play her role. She works as well. She play her role, but he
Hmm.
pays, the majority of everything around type stuff, rent the bills and all that type of stuff.
Okay.
Primarily. So he drives for a living. He drives trucks and stuff like that for a living. So one of the trucks had broke down and
Mm.
he wasn't able to work. All totally, out of his control type situation. So his vehicle's incapacitated. He has to wait till his truck is back up to where till he can operate, because the trucks are
Right.
funded by the company. So with him not driving at all, he's not getting no check. It's no compensation. So he went 2 weeks of no work. And he said he felt like, he had went through 2 weeks no work where his truck was out of there. He couldn't make no money type
Mm.
situation off his job. He has other means of money and stuff like that, but
Absolutely, that's a
it
paycheck
wasn't.
though.
Yeah. But so his primary income was obsolete for 2 weeks, and he just said he felt the change. He felt the notice and like and the tentativeness, the attitude that his woman had around the house and type of stuff, and offended
Hurt.
by it, because he like I do everything all around here, and I go down for a couple weeks, and I just feel like my value just dropped because I wasn't at work, and then he
Right.
felt like, yeah, a lot of that like household stuff, like chores and like all that type of stuff that he would normally get, that normal treatment he would get, was absent because he was out of work,
Okay.
and he felt hurt, like to feel like a number, and a lot of, and then
Yeah,
even
yeah.
like with like kids and stuff like that with us as men, sometimes like when you got kids, they don't treat you the same when you can't provide for them,
Provide.
when they can't
Yeah.
call you and ask you for money and stuff like that. The calls and the texts ain't as common and ain't as
Exactly.
constant when you don't have nothing to provide type situation. So it's
Yeah.
just like we ended up going into a deep conversation like that, where we feel as men that, yeah, sometimes like we can feel like a number to women, to not even just to women,
Mm.
but to in a relationship, but just to our kids, to you mean
Mm-hmm.
to society, period. And where if you don't have it, you're not a man type stuff,
Right.
and disregard like all of the things that you said, like, because even some women, you can be the perfect lover, the perfect communicator, the
Yeah.
perfect sensual, empathetic, all these type of qualities, honest, loyal, faithful, and still be scrutinized and put on a lower pedestal just because you don't have a certain amount of income. And
Mm-hmm.
then you get the guys, like you said, they got the income, and they can, and this, because like one thing about most men, and most people in general, and I'm not even gonna say men, but most people in general, when you get to making a certain amount of money, when you get to a certain number where you up there, like you said, the ball players and not and the lawyers and the doctors and you know, when you get to a certain level of money and
Yeah,
you
yeah.
and I don't need you, like it's a different level of how I'm gonna be treated by anybody. And it's
Okay.
like, you know, I don't need you here. Yeah, like I can buy another you type situation. Like people feel like that, and it gets to people's heads sometimes where like it can get like that. Like women always say they want the man with the money, they want the man with this, and then but them not having no job. Some of them these days probably don't know how to cook. All type of characteristics that the younger generation types, and mainly the younger women, but they be looking like, okay, I want this, I want that, I want my man to do this, I want my man to do that, and I want my man to take care of me. But you can't
Hmm.
cook. You don't like to clean. You don't like to do like so. If you got this man with all this money, what you gonna bring to the table? Just gonna make
What's
him
your
keep you
yeah, yeah,
around.
yeah.
Yeah, what you gonna bring to the table? That's gonna make him keep you around. Like at the same
Okay.
time type situation, and then that's a totally different topic, but I feel like a lot of women, a lot of people value value men just by like by what they bring to the table. And like you said, I totally agree that everybody should
Yeah.
be bringing to the table. You mean
Right.
in the situation like we all should be able to contribute, but I feel
Exactly.
like men more so get way more disrespected, way more less care, less grace when they down and when they
Nurturing.
out. Hmm?
Nurturing. Is that what it means?
They
I
get
mean, what you
yeah,
mean?
way less nurturing. Yeah, yeah, just period. And that's with or without money. So
Mm.
not have it and not get that, or to only get that when you have it, it's like it hurts.
It's a smack. Yeah, it's a smack.
It's smack in the face.
It's a smack for sure. You said a couple of key points that are like I want to touch on. I never so being a black woman and having a black brother, you kind of learn you learn some things about men, and it helps. It does. Like even like what you just said, feeling like a number. That hit something because that's a harsh way to feel. To feel like I'm just there for that reason or whatever,
Yeah,
or to satisfy that number, that check mark. You know what I'm saying? That's a harsh feeling. So I can sympathize with that. And then at the end when you're saying like if you ain't got it, you ain't gonna get treated the way you're supposed to be treated, basically. Or what you deserve is a man in general. Not because you ain't got the money, but because you looked at different.
exactly.
Um and when women and put you in a category. This is what it is. Like,
Yeah,
especially I think
quickly.
it's worse now. Like I think it's worse nowadays though, because it's so in the social setting that
Yeah,
you have to look this way, you have to date this person. If this person got money, that means you got more. It's always a competition. So I think that
yeah.
like right now it's worse, way worse
Way
than what it
worse. It
was.
is way worse.
Yeah, yeah. But I think that you got a good point. It's sad that men in general, especially men of color, who don't get that accolades that they deserve for just getting up in the morning and just going to work. Because I don't mean I'm not equal to the person who is getting up going to play ball because I ain't get that same opportunity. So
Exactly.
everybody opportunity is different. I think everybody you look at that person individually, but I do sympathize with that for real because that
Right.
number situation like that say a lot.
Yeah, I mean, we can put it to bed, but you just had said something too that made me like think of something like when with even just men getting up and going to work,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the main reason why people cheat in relationships. Mainly, well, I mean, men. Well, I'm gonna say women because men cheat for whatever reason. Men to cheat just because they see something that's fine and the fatter booty, whatever. Men cheat for whatever reason. Boredom.
Yeah.
Niggas do dumb shit sometimes.
Facts.
But women, the main. I wouldn't even say the main. I would say the only two reasons why a woman would cheat is because she doesn't feel emotional connection. She doesn't feel she's getting enough attention, or the nigga making more money than you. She done
The
found a better.
woman
She done
cheat
found.
because the woman
She done
cheat because
found
the
a better.
woman hold on, say
Huh?
that one more time. The last part.
I felt like, or basically like a nigga, she done found somebody that's making more money than you. She done found the
Oh,
better
okay, okay,
provider. She found the better
okay,
provider than you.
okay. I thought she was saying like she make more. I'm like, oh no, 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 that ain't
No,
what
no,
it
no,
is.
no, 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 no. She's found somebody that makes more money than you. She's found
Okay,
the better provider than you. Like it's
yeah,
like, okay, you here, but I done found the man who make he was making 50,000, and this dude that I met at the grocery store shot at me, and I found out he make $100,000 a year, and he wanted
yeah.
to take me here and do this and do that. Like I think that's the main two reasons why a woman would cheat. They don't feel like emotionally they're not getting that attention that
Hmm.
they want at home. They're not
Yeah,
getting that love, that affection, that whatever that looks like
yeah.
the romance, and maybe the sex. whatever that looks like in that department, it's either that or it's the money. And I feel like
I
that's
agree
kind
with
of
the
a
first one for sure. I agree with the first one. As a bit individual, yes, I agree with the first one. If you don't feel like you emotionally, mentally secure in your relationship and physically, you will cheat. This
yeah.
is facts. And but that's women, like you
That's
said.
women.
Yeah,
I'm thinking
I
like yeah,
agree. I
women.
agree. The second part, I don't know. We got to debate that. That's gonna have to be a
But
topic.
that's but I'm saying you either I'm saying you that kind of category kind of falls into
It
like
come up,
the
yeah, absolutely,
either or category though, because
absolutely,
it's women like you that are this that's like how you feel that that the woman that you are, you gonna go more towards that because that's more important to you. Like you said, you got your
yeah,
own money, you
yeah.
pay your own bills and all that
Hmm.
type of stuff,
Hmm.
so you're not materialistic. So the money thing
Right,
wouldn't make you go cheat. But there are
right.
women. I'm saying you either on one side or the other type situation. Some fall
Absolutely.
in
Yeah, I
both.
agree. I agree. I completely agree with that. It's one side or the other for sure. Either you already got it, but I or you gon' you already got it and you just need that one part, or you want it all. No, you want the money or you want the money. But I will say, like being like with one person is where it's at because it's too much shit out here.
Yeah, there's too much shit going on out here. There's too much shit going on out here. But we can get to the last one though. It's put to bed for me.
Me too. But like, yeah, yeah, and that's what that is. But I will say one more thing:
Yeah.
good dick will make a woman stay
Oh
regardless. I'm
yeah.
sorry. I'm
Oh
sorry.
yeah. Good
So
dick go a
that's
long
gonna put
way
that to
now.
bed. That's gonna put
Yeah, good
that to
dick go a long way,
bed.
that's all pun intended.
Yeah, that'll put some shit to bed for sure. Like for real, for
Yeah,
real.
yeah. There be broke niggas out here that be messed up
You
and
know what I'm saying?
goddamn all they got going
Like,
is they can rub some feet, rub some backs, and you feel me, rub that spot.
yes,
A lot of
yes,
rubbing going on. He ain't rubbing
yes,
no
absolutely,
his hands
absolutely.
rubbing his pockets when he touching too, but at the same time, it's a lot more rubbing going on that's keeping him in the position where he at.
Man, I'm telling you, bro. Like I couldn't even do nothing but laugh. That's because that's
Nah, for real.
yeah, I couldn't do nothing but laugh because that's facts right
Oh
there.
yeah,
Like
that's fact. That's
that
fact.
keep you around for sure. Like
Yeah,
you do
yeah.
what you're doing. You come in here working at a grocery store. You know what you doing.
Yeah,
You can be
yeah,
around for a minute. You can be
yeah.
around for a minute.
Yeah. I ain't working a 9 to 5, but I'm definitely working the 1 to 4.
But I'm
You hear me?
working.
The
I'm
one to
working it.
three.
All right, so the last topic for the night to put to bed, get to sleep, get up to work tomorrow. It is Monday. Yay.
Yeah.
No. Yay. But it was just simple. Biggie or Tupac.
Big ear pop. I'm gonna keep mine
Yep.
real brief. Um, pop. I would say pop because
Duh.
pop's music resonated way more with me than Biggie. And
Absolutely.
as a person who does music, to be totally honest, like my music style over the majority of the time I've been writing music and making music has been
Yeah.
more so Biggie type of style of music because of the punchlines, the metaphors, the
Yeah, yeah.
colorful lyrics, the just the storytelling. Like I do a lot of that. I do a lot more of that. But as far as like the artist that I want to be, the artist that I'm morphing into now is more so Pac. The
Yeah.
artist that always inspired me was more so Pac. Like Pac didn't just make bars and I mean I love that type of stuff. I love the Lil Wayne. I
Right.
love that's like my favorite type of music is the punchlines
Right.
metaphors. Stuff is gonna make me think of the colorful lines, the Kendrick type stuff. But at the same
Hmm.
time, the stuff that resonate with me more when I'm
Yeah.
listening to it, when I'm going through it, or with stuff that I actually relate to, like Pac took that in the essence where I don't think to this day like nobody has taken that to
I
in
agree.
music. Like he didn't the way he touched you, it was just different. It was different with Pac. Like he had an energy that was, and a lot of people try to discredit and say, oh well, he was talking about the streets, he was talking about he was thug, and he really wasn't. But I don't see it that way. I'm more so well rounded in a lot of stuff. Like I done been in the streets, but I also been in the college
Right.
class. I done been on the block hustling, but I done also been sitting in the church doing as an audio engineer type stuff
I
and going to
agree.
church. So I feel
Yeah.
like just because he did have a this background or he had this background or he went to this
Hmm.
college, they basically say because he was smart he wasn't a thug, and that's crazy.
Exactly.
That's crazy to say like that you
Discredit.
didn't experience that hood experience, or you didn't experience
Yeah.
these type of things, or you didn't grow up in a certain having to go through them same struggles and be in the streets and worry about gangs and worry about all this type of stuff. The same stuff that we all had to go through in the hood just because you
Yep.
smart or just because you did dance or you did this or you did theater because you just because you have a certain cerebral intake that most don't have, that you're not
Right.
street or that you're not real or that you're not authentic. That you can't discredit like it's I don't feel like he had to be that. He had to be
Yeah,
that
he
in a
did.
sense.
He did.
Either that or he was the best actor in the world because you can't get that. Like even actors to this day that this in the streets or ain't in the streets, like music to this day, like You ain't getting that pop. You ain't getting that feel
Nah,
like
nah,
Pac
you
did.
not.
He
That
had to.
heart,
He had to be that.
that real
Yeah.
raw. Nah, you ain't getting
Yeah,
that.
yeah, he had to be
No,
that in certain essence, in certain forms, from family line. I don't care where it came. He had to be
yeah,
that and had to know that in order for him to articulate that so well, and not even articulate it because he wasn't super lyrical and all that type of stuff. So for him to articulate pain and struggle
yeah.
and being
What he
black
did.
and oppression and overcoming and all those type of situations, like for him to articulate that and uplift and be that
Yeah.
positive, he had to know that, and that had to be him. So that's I Pac all day.
All day, every day, facts, 100%. Like that's my answer. Period. Like Tupac or Biggie. Now before Diddy fucked it up for Biggie, I like Biggie music. I like Biggie music, regardless. Like I like his music. That don't mean he ain't no good artist and nothing like that. It just mean that I resonate, like you said, with Pac more.
Yeah,
To me, like he just identified more with the struggle that we seen. You know what I'm saying? And honestly,
exactly.
being artsy and being different than people in his neighborhood and his family and things like that, and one more made me love him more because he was true to himself. Like he ain't ever put on this facade. Whatever happened in his life made him who he was. Like when he started banging and all that, whatever happened, that's because that was presented. That was presented to me. So now I got to be in that mode. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So like it just depends on what situation he was in, but as true to himself and that raw talent, that raw like one of my favorite songs is "Keep Your Head Up." When I'm down and I feel
Oh yeah,
like as a mom, I'm tired. Like I would hear that and it'd be like, all right, you be bumping, but you be getting encouraged at the same time. So like that's what his music does. Like I
yeah.
can hear Biggie on the radio and be like, one more, and keep it moving, but his stuff resonate in a different way. It makes me
Facts.
see something. Okay, it made me motivated. It made me encouraged. Like, all right, you got this. You got this one more day. So like, it's a different resonation that you get with him, and he was just true to himself. And this is two top talk all day. Like I remember the day when we got that news. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we
Everybody in
were
the house
crying
was
like we knew
crying.
Pop. Yeah,
Yeah, everybody in the house was crying
yeah, everybody
like
else
it
was
was a
crying. We crying
funeral
like
we
we
had
knew
to plan
Pop.
for. Right, like we had a funeral we had to plan. You know what I'm saying? So like,
For real.
no, that was true. We all and we family wise, we fucks with Pod. We mess with Pod. We love Pod,
Yeah,
and that's just what it is.
yeah. I feel like the Tupac and Biggie conversation could easily transcend in today's music, whether the Kendrick or the Drake, because I feel
Yeah.
like the Drake is more Biggie. He just make good music. He make colorful music, like you said. When
Yes.
you turn it on, you're gonna
You
vibe
can
to it. You're gonna
resonate
rock
with.
out to it. But Kendrick you can play something from that, and it's gonna resonate with you. It's
Yeah.
gonna touch you. It's gonna inspire you. It's gonna give you that. It's gonna do. It's gonna touch a
It
different
is.
vein.
It's gonna hit a different thing. Like I've always been, not even get off subject. I've always been a Drake fan, but like you said, because I like his music. Like I can, I can two step with it. I can do a little stuff with it, and it's
Yeah.
more resonated sometimes from women. Let's be
Oh
real.
yeah, yeah,
Now Tupac, I mean Tupac. See, there you go. Kendrick, there you. That's the compliment. Kendrick, like you said, you resonate with it a little bit different. It hit different. Like you
yeah,
get
different.
up off your feet and be like, all right, you know what? You did that
Yeah,
because it's just what it is. Like his wordplay, his wordplay is ridiculous, and his experience. So you
yeah.
know
The
where he come. We all
experience.
know where he come from. So he's seen
Yeah,
some stuff, and it's just different than Canada,
yeah. The
where
experience
or
is what makes it.
I need different than Canada. Different than being an actor been on Degrassi. Let's just be real.
Yeah,
Your
yeah.
experience gonna be
Different than
different
Drake.
than
It's different
Kendrick
than Drake.
Lamar.
Goddamn, for shit show. Yeah,
This is gonna be different because you had a little bit of shine growing up, so you kind of paved your way into Drake. He had to make his way.
yeah.
So that's yeah. We got off topic, but whatever.
I mean, we did, but
So
it
yeah,
resonates.
yeah. So I think tonight we put like a lot of things to bed. Really great conversation. Laughed a lot. Cheesed a
Yeah.
lot, blushed a lot, and put some things to sleep. And I think we did. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was. It was very informative. Just like we always try to be informative and entertaining as we can be, man, for real on our platform.
Yeah, Diamond G, y'all. Great conversation tonight, bro. We putting that to bed tonight, and we'll see y'all next time. Subscribe, watch, and share with family, friends, people you know. Keep us out here.
Already, man. Billionaire Billy Goat, man. Rest your mind, but don't rest your heart. Don't rest your soul. Don't rest your ambition, man.
Hey, and
Hey,
I'm gonna let bro finish with that because that's all we need tonight.
love y'all.
All right, love.